And ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing you another OSS match. That's right, we are dealing with some high-powered competitors right here. Right now they're in the middle of a miniature tourney, and the two obelisks, whatever. We got two obelisks. They are fighting it now, toe in toe, Mr. Nephew versus the FierceDuel. Now, I don't have to say anything about FierceDuel. He gives a pretty fierce performance. I'm bad. I'm just bad at this. Mr. Nephew as well. Let's go over their decks. Looks like FierceDuel starts with a pass, complete pass, while Mr. Nephew starts with the card face down. Monster face down defense mode, no spell and traps. Let's look at these decks. FierceDuel is rocking a no extra 40 card deck, while Mr. Nephew is our people on the bottom. 40 card deck with one extra monster, and we see the Marsh Macrons come back along with the Rogeki. Good, take those out early. Those can be annoying tribute fodder down the road. Which is a zombie monster, I guess it's a Gemini monster now. And with that, Cyber Dragon, the Heavy Knight of the Flame, is brought to its resting place. FierceDuel draws. Foolish Burial is activated, and it will send any card, I believe it's a monster, from your deck to your grave. Very useful. He brought out that Mizuzi, which means FierceDuel is running zombies. Mizuki is banished for Heavy Knight of the Flame, a zombie Gemini monster. According to Nexus, it's calling it a dual monster. Makes sense, right? And it's Gemini summoned, and it just stacks Cyber Dragon, which will banish it. Its new Gemini effect is right here at the start of the damage step. If this card attacks a special summoned monster, you can banish that monster. But it looks like Mr. Nephew isn't taking it. Brain Control will bring it over to his side, and it's tribute fodder for Jinzo. Psychic Shockwave destroys FierceDuel's life points. FierceDuel down to 5,300, Nephew down to 5,400. I have to pretty much say this duel seems very even. Book of Life is used, and it's going to bring out Heavy Knight of the Flame, and it's going to banish one Marsh Macron. Heavy Knight of the Flame is resummoned, and is expecting to go into a battle phase, but unfortunately, he just didn't get it. The Gemini effect only affects special summoned monsters. Jinzo was a tribute summoned monster. If he was come back from Call of the Haunted, that'd be a little bit different. FierceDuel found that out the hard way. Heavy Knight of the Flame, personally, I've never seen this card before, so I can understand that. One card face down, and what do you know? I hear in my little ears, I think it's my fairy godmother, otherwise known as Tetsu. Perhaps. FierceDuel shoots down shoots down that Galaxy Cyclone, and it turns out to be Jar of Greed. Jar of Greed couldn't be chained because of Jinzo. Now, FierceDuel puts a second card down. Will this be able to stop Jinzo? And it does not. And now the opponent's... It is 1-0 right now, my good friend. So this duel's going fairly quickly, unlike my duel earlier today with Jaywall. And we're going back into game number 2. Mr. Nephew will start out this time with 2 cards face down. And FierceDuel begins his turn with Twin Twisters, taking them out. The 2 traps were Mirror Force and Call the Haunted. 2 cards you do not want to leave. Well, 2 cards you don't want to leave early. Twin Twisters discarded was Galaxy Cyclone, which could be a very useful asset later on. Galaxy Cyclone can destroy a face down card, but at the same time, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to destroy a face up spell or trap. So very good for cards like Supply Squad, or field spells, etc. And it's a card you don't have to worry about. Jurigato is tributed for Jinzo, and it's going to attack Heavy Knight of the Flame. 600 life points. FierceDuel is in a tough spot, but As we know from our last duel, bingo, he still has his Raigeki. FierceDuel uses Raigeki along with his Dark Hold to take out Marshmallow. So now Mr. Nephew brings out Call of the Haunted. Second Call of the Haunted, bringing out Jinzo one more time and bringing FierceDuel down to 5,000. And the Call of the Haunted is negated now, so even if he destroys it, it will not destroy Jinzo. It's usually a very good play. Lightning Vortex takes out Jinzo, and the card discarded was Kasha. Interesting card. But now Spirit Reaper's ready to do some damage, and wow, Mr. Nephew's discard card was the Shadow Monarch. Not a good card to lose. Raigeki takes out Spirit Reaper without, with the risk of not taking anything else out. Heavy Knight of the Flame, direct attacks. Mr. Nephew's down to 5,100 again. These duels are just neck and neck, especially in this context when all it really takes is the heart of the cards. Alexander Dragon attacks Heavy Knight of the Flame. But will we see that face down activate? We do! It's Mirror Force! We're excited now. FierceDuel draws. And he brings out Gozuki, kind of the opposite of Mizuki, who is now in the graveyard, according to Gonzuki's effect. During the main phase, you can send one zombie-type monster from your deck to your graveyard. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one zombie-type monster from your graveyard and special summon one from your hand. Very useful. Combined with Mizuki, it's a very good combo. Mizuki seems to be banished, which means there's going to be one more monster being added to FierceDuel's monster lineup. Who's ready for the monster mash? That's what I'm thinking right now. We have Heavy Knight of the Flame, Gozuki, and another Heavy Knight of the Flame. FierceDuel's ready to take this out right now. Gozuki attacks, Heavy Knight attacks, and his second Knight attacks, and that is game. We are going to game 3, guys. That is super exciting. Actually, I wonder if I can bring it up so quickly. Yeah, I'm just thinking, but now Mr. Nephew and FierceDuel both have to think about their opposing opponent. Nephew has to worry about Heavy Knight of the Flame. It seems to be the focus of FierceDuel's deck, while FierceDuel has to worry about all of his tribute fodder, this strong tribute fodder that he has. Mr. FierceDuel starts out with 2 cards face down. Breaker the Magical Warrior is started out. Mr. Nephew destroys Call of the Haunted. 2 cards face down, and direct attack, 1,600. Either FierceDuel does not want to use his face down, or he's just saving it for the right moment, or he just can't use it. Twin Twisters. And discarded is 2 Bud. I'm not sure if this is new, but they recently changed here from Gemini to Duel. Fascinating. The 2 cards destroyed were Mirror Force and Call of the Haunted. That's a major callback to the previous game. 1 card face down is all Nephew does. FierceDuel now, with 2 cards in his hand, 1 spell trap face down. Spirit Reaper is the game. He direct attacks. Will Mr. Nephew let it go through? Jar of Greed. Oh, that's a card not wanting to do. I see. I guess he wanted to activate Jar of Greed to possibly increase his chances of surviving. But here's Jurigato. That should have been something to use early on, or used to prevent that attack. But regardless, we have a face down, and Jurigato's attacking Spirit Reaper. 1,400 life points are gone. FierceDuel's down to 5,000, while Mr. Nephew is sitting nicely at 8,700. What will FierceDuel do now? He shifts his Reaper to defense mode, and now it's pretty good tribute fodder right now, and it's also a very good shield. Oh, Book of Life. It's going to banish Breaker in order to bring out 2 Bud. Ill Bud, I suppose. But that's his normal summon. No, that's a special summon, but now we can normal summon. 2 Bud will attack Jurigato, 400 life points. And now what will Mr. Nephew do on his next turn? Final Duality, Dark Hole, Alexander Dragon, and Jinzo. All formidable cards, but my guess over this duel, he's going to pick Jinzo. That'd be my guess. And he's going to pick Jinzo. Brain Control. Ooh. Could be a good choice, but not really. Brain Control, whenever Spirit Reaper goes to the graveyard. So whenever this card is targeted by any face-up card, he gets destroyed. Jinzo attacks, 2 Bud is in the grave. Mr. Nephew. This is how we do it. FierceDuel, trying to figure out his next game. Heavy Knight of the Flames, then, along with Lightning Vortex, destroys Jinzo. This is a very bare-bone dry game right now. Mr. Nephew, 2 cards in his hand, can't do anything, leaves it pass, while FierceDuel brings up 4,700. And this is the perfect time to come back. 2 Bud, Bud, and Jinzo are being used. Jinzo's being banished. Two Bud. Oh! Unfortunately, Spirit Reaper was targeted by a face-up card, so it was destroyed immediately. 2 Bud continues on. Mr. Nephew, 5,400 life points. And now Breaker's coming out now with his spell counter. Destroying Magic Jammer. That's a card I actually have not seen here for a while. Oh, we have a BLS coming out, banishing a Jurigato and a Marshmacron. And that is game, ladies and gentlemen. We have Mr. Nephew destroying the zombie deck, all to the tune of the Monster Mash. Please don't take us down for copyrights. Anyway, I've been the Music Man.